We are covering administrative distance and metric for the CCNA exam. These two concepts are fundamental to how a router chooses the best path, and the exam will absolutely test your understanding of their hierarchy. Administrative distance, or AD, is the first criterion a router uses to select a path. Think of it as the trustworthiness of the routing source. A lower AD value is always better because it means the route source is more believable. The key AD values you must memorize for the CCNA are 0 for a directly connected interface, 1 for a static route, 90 for EIGRP, 110 for OSPF, and 120 for RIP. The metric, on the other hand, is a value used by a single routing protocol to determine the best path to a destination when it has multiple options. For example, OSPF uses cost as its metric, while RIP uses hop count. A common exam trap is to present a scenario where a router learns about the same destination network from two different routing protocols. Imagine a router learns about the 10.1.1.1.0/24 network from OSPF with a very low cost, and it also learns about it from EIGRP with a seemingly higher composite metric. The question will ask which route is installed in the routing table. The answer is always the one with the lower administrative distance. Since EIGRP's default AD is 90 and OSPF's is 110, the router will trust EIGRP more and install the EIGRP route, completely ignoring the metrics of both protocols. The metric is only considered after the router has already chosen the routing protocol based on the lowest AD. If that same router learned about the 10.1.1.1.0/24 network from two different EIGRP neighbors, then it would compare the EIGRP metric for each path to decide which one is superior. Remember the order of operations: AD first to choose the protocol, then the metric to choose the best path within that protocol. A simple way to remember the AD values for the most common interior gateway protocols is the phrase "every old router," which stands for EIGRP at 90, OSPF at 110, and RIP at 120. Don't forget that a directly connected route with an AD of 0 and a static route with an AD of 1 will always be preferred over any dynamically learned route. This is also how floating static routes are configured. You create a static route but manually set its AD to be higher than the dynamic protocol, making it a backup that only appears if the primary dynamically learned route fails. The exam will test this by showing you routing table outputs and asking you to interpret why one route was chosen over another. You'll need to look at the brackets in the show IP route command, where the first number is the AD and the second is the metric. For free practice questions, AI-powered explanations, and more exam prep tools, visit openexamprep.com. That's openexamprep, all one word, .com.